And so when I say Chinese, I want you to scream out the nation that's associated with this. For example, if I say Chinese, you're going to say what?
China.
All right, let's say it with authority. When I say Chinese, you say what? China. All right, that's just a test right there. So here we go. Chinese.
China.
Russian.
Russia.
Italian.
Italy.
German.
Germany.
Swedish.
Sweden.
Korean.
Korea.
Egyptian.
Egypt.
Nigerian.
Nigeria.
Black.
Exactly. Nothing. Tell him, Pastor. Tell him, Pastor. Black, nothing.
I hope you were able to successfully identify the issue.
So you go on to say that Sarnetta talked about your kids. Who are you talking about? Huh? You ain't talking about your sister, right? You ain't talking about that, her, right? You ain't talking about, no, bitch, that's right. I know you ain't talking about her. I knew her before you polite. You ain't talking about her, right? The one you call Renentet, you ain't calling her your daughter, are you? Don't do it. Don't make me do it again. Huh? Little Dr. York, don't make me do it again. Little Dr. York. You ain't talking about her, right? The one that you call Renentet. Huh? That ain't your daughter. Cut it out. Don't make me bring her sister right here in front of me. Her sister is my wife's cousin. You know that. Play yourself. You know that. Play yourself for themselves. Huh? She ran away from home to be with your ass.
Want to say Shalom Lak Mash Paka to all of you guys that are tuning in tonight. This is a short notice, last minute live that I'm doing here. I wasn't able to do any lives over the past week and a half because YouTube had me locked down again, right? So I'm, between YouTube and Facebook, they've done a number of things to try to suppress this channel, like shadow banning my platform here, YouTube, well, Facebook. They for almost a 3-year period deleting videos. If I go live within 2 minutes, they kick me off and then remove the videos, doing all kinds of crazy stuff. But family, I just want to take the time out to deal with a very serious matter tonight. I know others are covering this matter, but I really want to deal with this briefly. I'm not going to talk too long on this. I'm going to talk more later, but just touch on it just a little bit, just to really just prayerfully jolt some of you guys to really see the seriousness of what's happening among our community. You know, you guys all by now understand what's going on within the conscious community with Brother Polite. And I'm going to be real with you, family. It's just not the conscious community that this stuff is happening. Within the this awakening, so many brothers are doing, subjecting our sisters to behaviors like this. Inside Christianity, the church, the Catholic Church, right? They did this, all kinds of heinous crimes and all kinds of perverted sexual acts to our people, raping the men, women, children, doing all kinds of things to them. So many things that are happening, so many perverted things that are happening within our community, regardless of the different belief systems that are going on. But it's a lot of perverted things that are happening in our community. And we have to really be real with it. The conscious community. When we look at what happened with Polite, and I'm disgusted because what upsets me is many of our brothers and sisters, right, who proclaim to know the text, be a defenders of the text, but have entered into covenant, entered into relationships with these guys. These guys. It's all a hustle. So, so many people want to push their brands and push their platforms, push their titles, push their whatever they want to push at the expense of selling out their own people. You have the conscious community buddying, being all buddy with the UA community, and all kinds of stuff going on among those communities. Perversions all through those communities, all through those guys. And when we look at Saneter TV and those guys, perversion's going all up under it. Bunch of hustlers. I'm going to say it, and I'm not going to bite my tongue. None of them put fear in my heart. You guys know some of the situations I had to deal with within this community. Dealing with polygamy, which so many of these hustlers, these so-called brothers, so-called leaders are using polygamy to mask their perversions, their sickness, their unbridled lust. That's why many within the community don't want to, they don't want to admit it, but that's why many of them got a bad taste in their mouth about me, because I'm not one to bite my tongue. See, I can tell you endless stories of me helping a number of the women who was taking advantage of from these guys. I can tell you how these guys are hustling just to get in bed with the women by using polygamy and using foolishness of like, yeah, well, we don't have to, when we get married, just to stay out of the system of the oppressor, we're just going to come up with our own agreement. And no, that stuff don't hold in court. Even within the scriptures, every marriage was recorded. It was recorded, not just within the family. It was recorded among the entire community, legally recorded. There was a journal for that. The Jewish community, because that's what many would try to hide behind. I'm gonna write me a ketubah out, and we good. We just got it between us. No, that's not how it goes. See, in the Jewish community, right? They have a ketubah, right? But they still have to what? Register with their local government, which they do. But to take it a step further within their community, they also register that marriage with Israel. But they're still registered. They're still abiding by the rules of this country. You'd be surprised some of the foolishness that these men are doing to these women, coming up with these fake marriages, and only to get inside their pants, get inside their skirts, and then toss them aside, subjecting them to all kinds of stuff. Men telling their women, these different groups out here, married couples seducing, getting in the ears of the women, well, your husband is not awakened to this truth, so you're going to have to dump your husband because he's not awakened. That's what Paul warned about. What? Covenant breakers, truce breakers, men doing all kinds of foul stuff to get at the women. And they targeting many of them silly women. What it means, silly women, there is not referring to as a name calling, or saying that they joking and they don't have. No, that's not what it means. When it says silly women, what it means is women that are not fully mature in terms of their understanding. They're very young in their understanding, young-minded. So that's why many of these predators target young women. This is why this predator, Polite, targeted the young women. The game was on full force today, being led by Saneter. Saneter, being led by him, Tasha Cobbs. They all knew that Tasha Cobbs was going to do Tasha K was going to do a live, because she broke the story yesterday. She was going to do a live. They all knew it. So they purposely began to do lives at the same time to try to get the people to come over to hear what they have to say. Polite going on his blitz, trying to do an Instagram and whatever, all of these guys going on an all-out blitz to cover their golden boy and ultimately cover the foolishness that all of them were co-signing on. You hear from yourself. The video clip that I just played, and I'm going to play it again, is from Sarnetta 4 years ago when him and Polite were beefing. Actually, it's longer than that, because young Pharaoh had broke away from them at that time. Young Pharaoh actually called this out too. This is not the same person. This is another situation. As what was happening at that time, Sarnetta was upset at the fact that Polite had hustled him out of some money, and they began to go at it publicly. So that video clip is from Sarnetta's own words, but they think this is a game. They think this stuff is a game. Sarnetta had the audacity, like it's a game yesterday. Oh, do you guys want me to, talk about Polite, check, hit one, but you guys going to have to pay me, put money inside to send me some cash at money, all about money, all about dollars, trying to see all what they can make out of this thing. While you have a mother who entrusted this guy. This guy manipulated the whole situation. What did he do? Manipulated the whole situation, told the mother that he was taking her daughter down to the lobby to eat. And before you know it, he got her up in some hotel room, molesting her. Thankful for the mother not getting caught up into the money and getting caught up into all the glitter and the glamour, that she took her daughter right to the hospital and let the legal system kick in. So this is real, family. This stuff is real. This stuff is real. So what you see on your screen here, I'm just going to share it real quick. As a matter of fact, I see Alberta Henderson. Hey, Brother Kelly, why don't you accept my Let me know who you are, because I got like, I'm being honest with you, it's over 400, easily at least 400 friend requests that is there. So I get lost in there. And because of how Facebook has been doing my channel, doing all kinds of things to hinder my account there. So I really, it gets lost there. So let me know. Just let me know when you send me a request, or text me offline to let me know your Facebook name, so that way I can make sure that I can add you to my friends list. All right. So it's not done intentionally. All right. So Sarnetta know what's going on with Brother Polite. Sarnetta knows exactly what's going on with Polite. Let me play the clip one more time, and then play the full clip, because it's only 60 seconds, right? But listen to it. Listen to it closely. This is at least 4 years ago. And at the time, the young girl that they're making reference to, she was 16 years old. Brother Polite was dating Sarnetta's cousin and basically was messing around with her daughter. Got put out. I'm just going to say allegedly, but anyway, but got put out, right? Got put out. And then the girl ran away to be with Polite. Let me let you hear it again. This is not the situation that Polite is dealing with right now. This is a different situation. Let me play it one more time. Let me let you hear it for yourself. Again, for yourself, for those that are just jumping in. Let me let you hear it again so you can hear clearly. This is a different situation, but yeah, we got these hustlers. These hustlers trying to bully Tasha K for blowing the whistle. Trying to bully her for blowing the whistle, doing something that unfortunately the men is, most men are just nervous about taking stands like this. Do you know when we don't take care and protect the women, we're cursed because of that? You had a single mother with her daughter, and Polite took advantage of her. Do you know that's in Torah? We supposed to be taking care of that? We supposed to protect the women, the widowers, the orphans. We're supposed to be taking care of that. Family, let me let you hear this again so you can hear the hustle behind this guy right here. But yet, we got brothers and sisters. We got the church, that's inside the church connected with this guy. All of them teaming up to come at us, those that are walking in his truth. And the nerve that this guy had, the nerve to say, well, the Hebrew Israelites, there's some of them that threatened to rape my daughter. Some of them threatened to rape somebody else's daughter. No, that's no excuse. Now, trust me, I don't condone none of that behavior. But that's still no excuse to try to cover up your golden child, your buddy, your partner, your ace boom coon. All the hustle. These guys are nothing but hustlers. The conscious community is nothing but hustlers. This is ripping through the conscious community right now, and they're trying to come up with excuses with about Polite. Oh, well, I'm not trying to just jump out the window. I'm not trying. No, yeah, you know what you're doing. See, a court case, not this the case number that's up on your screen, right? Hopefully I'll have the details of the report before the weekend, so that way I can read the report to you. Right? You can get this on your own. This is the court case for Polite. See, with the court system, they don't just make an accusation against you and then they go file a court case. It's more to it than just somebody making an accusation towards you. No, they have to go through a process. Like the mother had to take her daughter to the hospital. They had to administer a rape kit, right? And then once they go through that process of getting, going through the rape kit with the victim, then what they do is the accuser, they take the DNA samples of the accuser, right? Because they are forced to have a DNA test by court order. Then once they do that, right, and they compare the DNA, and guess what? If their DNA matches, right, which Polites did, then they proceed to take it further, right? That's all of this happens before it gets to this point with this court case being filed. So these guys are a bunch of liars, a bunch of hustlers. So let you guys hear it again, and then I'm going to enlarge my screen so you can read it for yourself. This is the court case that has been filed against Polite.
So you go on to say that Sarnetta talked about your kids. Who are you talking about? Huh? You ain't talking about this, yeah, right? You ain't talking about that, her, right? You ain't talking about, no, bitch, that's right. I know you ain't talking about her. I knew her before you, Polite. You ain't talking about her, right? The one you call Renentet, you ain't calling her your daughter, are you? Don't do it. Don't make me do it again. Huh? Little Dr. York, don't make me do it again. Little Dr. York. You ain't talking about her, right? The one that you call Renentet. Huh? That ain't your daughter. Cut it out. Don't make me bring her sister right here in front of me. Her sister is my wife's cousin. Again, you know that. Play yourself. You know that. Play yourself for themselves. Huh? She ran away from home to be with your ass.
So what you see on the screen, and as you heard what he stated, you heard what Saneter stated 4 or 5 years ago about Polite dating his wife's cousin, and the daughter ran away to be with him. Her daughter at the time was 16 years old to run away with this guy, Polite. Now I may play the entire video, that portion of the clip. I may play the entire portion of it, but we'll get to that. I'll see. But right now, what you see on your screen, right? This is the court case, right? Criminal Justice online, office online. That's the link right here, right? Miami-Dade County Clerk of the Courts. This is the case number against Michael Nowick, right? That's the case number right there. Filed. Look at where it says it when it was filed. Filed yesterday. After what? Determining that the DNA matched. I'm trying to keep it clean here, but matched Polite's or Michael Nowick. It matched, right? This is where they decided to file because it matched. There's more charges coming down. Notice what it says here. This is the court case. This is Polite. But over here, we see here, this is the charge. Engage. Here it is. Look at this. Sex. Notice here, right? This is the date, right? Anyway, but he had forced sex, right? You could call it sodomy because I'll just keep it like that. He forced himself orally to have oral interaction with this girl. Got her drunk or what? Who knows? Whatever drugs he put up in her to push his perverted agenda. A 14-year-old girl. right? So, and Tia, that's a great question. Why wasn't he jailed when Sarnetta called him out? Who knows what happened? Maybe they kept it secret, kept it internally. Maybe who knows what happened? But I tell you one thing, right? With me showing this clip and you guys show these clips, you share this on your channels, I guarantee you they're going to pull Mr. Sarnetta. He's going to have to give an answer. They're going to what? Go to that his cousin and her daughter to get more details on it because of this situation. I'm sure there's more victims that are out there. See, this is no joke, family. This is no joke. This is nothing to play with. As you can see, again, this is the court case, right? You can easily do the research on your own. Unfortunately, many of us don't want to do research because we just don't want to find out the information. We just don't want to believe, because a lot of times many of our people start idolizing people. Start idolizing these guys. Same thing, same behaviors happen in the church, right? People idolizing the pastor. Pastor slept with just about everybody inside the church, had babies all over the place. But hey, that's just pastor being pastor. He give a good word. This is happening right across the board in Islam. The nation of Islam's and, right within the community, they doing the same thing. Don't get it twisted. They are doing the exact same thing. Our community, our women are being preyed on. Our young men and young girls are being preyed on. So what was the hustle? What did they try to do today? All of them went live to try to minimize those of people are going to listen to what Tasha K was going to present tonight. And of course, her being a mother, and visualize, trying to just even imagine what if she was in that position, and it really got up under her skin. And I could see why. This guy, 37, 38 years old. The girl was 14, regardless of how old the girl he is. For starters, why do you have to feel the need to take advantage of a 14-year-old girl? Drugging her up, drugging up a 14-year-old girl and forcing yourself on a 14-year-old girl. No, he's 38 years old. Forcing yourself on a 14-year-old girl. A 14-year-old girl. This is disturbing. 14 years, 14-year-old girl. And when you hear the information, oh my gosh, it brought tears to my eyes. Tears to my eyes of the things that was taking place. What he did to her, what she was subjected to. Come on, man. Come on, family. We got to do better than this, man. We got to stop allowing this foolishness to go on. Now, I stood my ground on a number of assaults that was made on me publicly because of me standing up and speaking up for what's right and what's wrong. Not going to sit up here and condone the abuse of the women. I'm just not going to happen. Taking care of the young girls and, protecting our community the way that we're supposed to protect it. That's why, man, it's that judgment, man. The judgment, man, it's going to be ugly. It's going to be so many that think that the Most High approve of them, only to find out the Most High is going to say, worker of iniquity. In other words, bender, twister of the law. It's law, statutes, and commandments. So again, what you see on here, right? This is the court case right here. That's the court case. It was filed on August 17th. So all far as like the rape kit, her filing her complaint, the police report, all of that took place months ago. So once the results came back that it proved that he, and I'm trying to keep it simple, but basically spilled himself, right, on this 14-year-old girl, that they had stains, like 5 or 6 stains from him on her. Can you imagine a mother sending her daughter, thinking that he's taking her daughter downstairs to eat with the rest of the people that's part of the group, but he disappears with her daughter? She wondering, hey, what's going on? Where you at? And he's texting her saying that he's going to waiting for her to come meet them at an after party. But he took her to a hotel, drinking her, getting her all drunk up. That is sick. That is disgusting. That's no matter how you look at it. And guess what? The Most High is going to be unveiling a lot of stuff. See, I could tell you, there's a lot of perversions that's going on among the Most High's people and those that call themselves defenders of his word, which is in Christianity, that's in Catholicism, going all the way down. I mean, it's all up in there, including the ones that call themselves trying to attack our community. You'd be surprised the stuff that I know about these guys that have been pointing fingers at us. But the Most High is going to handle them. The Most High is going to fully expose that. Guys stalking other guys. Guys, men beating their wives up, their wife up. All kinds of crazy stuff that's going on. But we're the threat. We're the threat. You hear Sarnetta all the time. Oh, the Bible, child rape or murdering children, God murdering children. But here it is, his own right-hand man did something to his own wife's cousin's daughter, and you covered up. You covered it up. You part of the problem. All of those guys, unking all those guys doing lies and, oh, well, let's just wait till the full, all the information to come out and all this. No, you got it right here. If this court case was filed because they have proof, they confirmed that something happened. They confirmed that a 14-year-old girl was taking advantage of a grown man who's old enough to be her father. That's why they filed this case. If they would not have found Polite's, if they would not have found his DNA on her, you guys know what I mean. Guess what? This case, it would have been more complicated, right? They probably would have still had enough to charge him for the delinquency of a minor because of her being drunk, that type of thing. But no, they confirmed his DNA on her. Let me share a couple of things with you guys real quick before I turn in. Right? Let me show you something here. Homosexuality and also pedophilia, child rape. So they want to talk about the Bible. The scriptures doesn't condone these things. It speaks against it. Scriptures don't condone chattel slavery. It speaks against it. And I'll challenge anyone from any community that says that the Bible promotes chattel slavery, and I'll shut them down with one verse. Bunch of liars. See, most of you guys don't know. See, a lot of those statues that you see inside the museums about, with these Egyptian men. See, if you notice, they have the place card placed right at the lower portion of the torso. They have it placed where their reproductive organ is. You know why they put the place card there? Because their phallus per se, their male reproductive organ is an erection. We all grown here. It's an erection. So what they did was they cut it off and put a place card over it, so that way it wouldn't make people uncomfortable seeing that. See, phallic worship is all within the traditions of the Kemet guys. That's why the Most High made it clear for his people to separate from all that stuff. The story about Set and Horus is pedophilia, is homosexuality, is someone taking advantage of his nephew. Let's see what it says here. Let me show you here. Right? This is coming from the Oxford Essential Guide to Egyptian Mythology, right? By Donald B. Redford on page 332. Right? This is what it says. Set, the god of confusion, spirit of disorder, and personification of violence and bad faith. These are all the behaviors that we see right now. Confusion, disorder, personification of violence, bad faith. But notice what it says, was nevertheless venerated by the Egyptians as a god with whom one had to come to terms. Disorder, at least to ascertain extent, was accepted as a reality of life and is essential to the living order. Set, also known as the god who brought death into the world by killing Osiris. Right? Osiris had to die, but Set gave him an untimely, sordid, and lamentable death. Seth and Horus fought for the rulership of the world. And right, these are brothers, right? Right. So, you guys know the story about Seth, right? And when you saw Seth and Osiris, right? Osiris, right, was killed by Seth. His body was chopped up, tossed in the Nile, right? Dismembered and tossed in the Nile. So his wife, Isis, this is all Egyptian mythology, supposedly gathered his body parts of Osiris, put it back together, but it was missing the phallus. So she created a golden phallus, right? Which is another way of saying sex toy, right? The reason why they had to put the body together, according to Egyptian or Kemet mythology or religion, however you want to, whatever term you want to use, right? A body, right, that's missing body parts. If a person died, their body cannot go into the afterlife with missing any body parts. So what they would do is create body parts, right? Just so that way that person can go into the afterlife whole. So here, Isis created a golden phallus, and then she copulated. This is where you get into necrophilia. She copulated with a dead body and produced, supposedly, Horus. Right? That's necrophilia. That's perversion right there. They can't get around it. That's what they try to say. Oh, the story, the virgin birth of the Messiah came from this. No, this is night and day. Because number one, Osiris wasn't a virgin because she was married to, Iris wasn't a virgin because she was married to Osiris. So she wasn't a virgin. They were married. So Seth is the brother of Osiris. Horus is his nephew. So notice what it says here. Seth and Horus fought for the rulership of the world, the kingship of Egypt, and the function of Osiris. In this battle, Horus lost his eye, and Seth, you see I'm not going to get into all of this, right? But you can read it on your screen. Seth, of his private parts. Seth, god of exuberant male sexuality, not yet channeled into fertility, says here, induce Horus to take part in pederastic acts and homosexual violation. So where it says pederastic, this is telling you that Horus was a young boy. So pedophilia and homosexuality, homosexual violation. Pederastic, let me give you the definition of this so you understand the etymology of it. Sodomy of a man with a boy. Let me say it again. Sodomy of a man with a boy. Love of boys. Lover of boys. Child, boys. Pedo. And notice you see eros, because all of this is dealing with homosexuality, pedophilia, sodomy of boys. Right? So pederasty, sodomy of a man with a boy. So guess what? Seth raped his own nephew. Right? I'm not going to get into the rest of this. Right? But I just wanted to give you a little briefing about just the sodomy, the perversions that's within the Kemetic community that they don't fully teach. They try to come up with every reason, rhyme or reason. Let me go back here to this court case right here. They come up with every rhyme or reason to try to justify that belief system. Nah, family, we can't do this. We can't allow this. This is why it's imperative for those that say that they are teachers to understand history, to understand those other cultures, so that way you can speak out against those other cultures like I can. These guys can't come to me with that Kemet stuff. It's easy to shut down. These guys can't come at me with this Islam stuff. They can't come at me with this Christianity stuff. They can't come at me with this Catholicism stuff. They can't come at me with none of that stuff. You know why? Because I am astute. Religious studies, that was, hey, anyway, I'm not getting into all of that. But I could tell you like this, that they can't come over and fool us over here at PFR. That's why I have open discussion. I'm not afraid to have our Bible studies and our Shabbat messages public where people can ask questions and so forth. Why? Because I know I can answer them. I can handle whatever question that come on the floor. I'm not saying I know it all, but guess what? I know how to get to the answer. You're not coming up there with this type of foolishness. You're not coming up there talking about our, belief system come from the Kemetic belief system. Heck no. Get out of here with that. So family, I just want to take the time out tonight. Number one, to test and see if my account was still going, because they had me locked down. But ultimately, to have a discussion on this here, to tell you why we need to wake up. Don't let these guys off the hook. That's why I decided that I'm not dealing with none of these guys. I'm not dealing with none of these guys. I don't care about these panels. I don't care about none of those things. Guess what? I'm not jeopardizing my salvation for the sake of a conversation of a group of people that don't like our community, that truly don't like the Most High. That's why I said I'm not dealing with none of these folks. That's why I made it clear. And I'm going to do part 2 tomorrow night when we deal with God. That's why I made it clear. Do not call me a Christian. Do not call me a Catholic. Do not call me none of those things. This is not meant to insult anyone within Christianity. But guess what? Guess what? The Bible is not just the only doctrine of Christianity and Catholicism. Whatever the documentations that was written, that's part of Christianity and Catholicism. The very thing that was written, the edicts that was wrote to enslave our people. So when you say you are a Christian, you are saying that you receive all the things that come with the territory of what the Christians had done, not just the New Testament, because that's Christian. In Christianity, that's all they talk about. They disregard the Old Testament. That's why I say here, on this channel, anyone that says that they are awake and they're saying that they are Christians, but red flag. That's a major red flag. Now, if they new to it, I can understand, because you're still going through the transition, because I did that. When I made that transition of coming out of Christianity, I initially referred to myself as a Hebrew Christian pastor. But guess what? Once the scales completely came off my eyes, guess what? No. call me a follower of the way, but you are not going to call me a Christian. Call me a follower of the way, but you're not going to call me a Catholic. I am completely out of that system, and I am proud of it. See, when you truly understand heritage, when you understand the Dabar HaQuadash, you understand not to get caught up with these different councils. Not going to communicate with people that embracing a doctrine, knowingly embracing a doctrine that enslaved their own people. It wasn't the scriptures. When you read those doctrines, when you read those tenets, when you read those papal bulls that the Pope wrote, because the Pope was over the church, all Christianity didn't come really branch out away from the Roman Catholics until the 15th century. So all of them was in on it. So you cannot just say that, hey, you know what, in Christianity, we just follow the Bible. No. Christianity, Catholicism, you're embracing all the doctrine that comes with the territory. If you find any type of writings, right, that's written in Hebrew, right, that's part of the Israelite community, regardless of the different books and all those different things that they've discovered, it still gets associated with who? The Israelites. But if you find anything outside of that, let's just say if you find letters of Tertullian, that's not connected with the Israelites, that's Christianity. Because guess what? That's now you're getting away from the Israelites. Tertullian brought in the Trinity. When you get to the Council of Nicaea and all, those are doctrines that the Nicene Creed, those were doctrines about what? The Catholic Church. I understood the reasoning behind it, but regardless, all these different documents that you come across, that's not Israel's doctrine. It's not associated with Israel. It's associated with who? The Roman Catholic Church, Christianity, all the offshoots of it. So whether people want to still be connected with me or not, that's fine. But I'll say this to you, just like I stated when we started our ministry. I would rather tell you the truth, right? And you leave. You can't stand my guts because I told you the truth. Then I have a house full of people being pacified with lies. And I stand true to this. I don't care about having thousands of people inside our assembly. I can tell you firsthand and have others give you the testimonies of how many of these big time mega ministries per se was trying to recruit my wife and I when they heard that we stepped out to do our own ministry, was trying to push us into that mega, want to, fly us in. Anyway, guess what? We cut all that stuff off. Said, no, that's not what we're about. No, the Most High ain't call us to do all that stuff. I don't care about all that stuff. I just care about going after the lost. Now, with me constantly studying to see where studying for the truth, I didn't have no one to come tell me, hey, you know what? Let me give you proper clarity from a Hebraic school of thought. No, it's because I took serious study to show thyself approved unto the Most High. A workman need not be ashamed, but rightly dividing the word of the Most High, truth. So that's how, I come to the understanding. Hey, I did a lot of studies in school. Been taking classes and all that other stuff for, never stopped doing that. Took a break over the past year. You know what I mean? Sitting in lectures and all that just to have access to certain libraries. Oh, you know what? The Most High through his Holy Spirit allowed me to connect the dots. So guess what, family? Enough is enough. This is why you won't see me on, connecting to, making it a point to separate myself from a lot of these groups. I can't deal with that. It's a distraction. It's a distraction, Israel. So again, shame on anyone that have supported Sarnetta and these guys. Nothing but a group of hustlers. I'm going to say it, and even if I have to be the only one to say it, shame on anyone that supported these group of hustlers and others that modeled their channels after them. Others who's been connected to that system. Others who's trying to push, who team up and connect themselves with them to come at our community. Man, forget all of them. I'm standing on all the Dabar HaQuadash. It's a shame, family. You know what? That's what caused Israel to become a divided kingdom, because what? Of a woman being raped who is supposed to be protected by the Levi, who is a descendant of the priesthood, a crooked Levi, treated her, abused her. She was molested. She was raped, gang raped by a group of Benjamites known as the what they call it, the children of Belial. In other words, perversions. They were homosexuals, and they raped her all night until she died, to the point of death. And this trifling Levi slept good, got up the next morning like nothing ain't happened, opened up the door. She fell in the door dead. But she wasn't the only one out there with it. It was a virgin. The daughter of the owner of the house was out there with her, but she died. This stuff, we still see this happening right now. You'd be surprised some of the things that, the things that our ministry had to intervene on. Man. All right, family, I'm gonna have to take it down. I got a lot of cramming to do over the next couple of days. So I'll do a live tomorrow night, but then you won't really hear anything of me until actually we'll record out. We'll start doing our lives of our Shabbat on this channel. I'm completely moving away from Facebook when it comes to doing lives because of just how bad they've suppressed that profile. I'll still be checking my stuff out, but I will be, checking that account. But I'm transitioning from all of that. All right. What happened here? I'm not sure what just happened here, family. Anyway, if you guys can still hear me? All right. Sorry about that, family. My StreamYard is acting up on my end. I'm like, what in the world just happened? Looked like I just got disconnected and all. All right, you guys. Okay. So, all right. Yeah. Jay Highstyle, my man. That's my buddy right there. I'll check my email. I've been literally in hermit mode, trying to get this cram for this this certification I gotta do for some other stuff. But yeah, I'll definitely check my email. Appreciate you, my brother. My sister Carol. So I appreciate all you guys. Shawnee, I appreciate all you guys that have been very supportive of this platform. But I just want to be clear with you, family. I'm not here to pacify anyone, just to speak the truth. So when I'm making my stand about what I just shared about not being a Christian, guess what, family? Please don't take it from a perspective of me trying to throw shots at anyone within the community. No, that's not how I roll. But I have to make it clear what I stand, where I am at, because I've done a lot of compromise. I've been from a perspective of not saying much because not want to offend others, but others have made it a point to purposely offend me. So ever since that last situation I had to deal with, I made it a point that, you know what, I'm going to make sure that my yay is yay, that no one can misconstrue where I stand. I'm going to make sure that you guys understand it. If that means that people want to separate from me, that's fine. That's fine, because the ministry was not built on trying to appeal to a certain demographics of people. I'm just here to teach the truth. So I just want to make that clear. I don't care about money. The Most High has taken care of my household, taken care of our ministry. So I don't care about the money. If you want to sow, that's fine, because that helps us help people, because we do have people within the community that are in need. But again, I appreciate you guys. Really do. So I'm going to play this clip one more time, and then we're going to close out. But I really appreciate you guys. I will be online tomorrow night, and we will touch on the reason why I say I don't believe in God. But I want to make it clear, I am not an atheist. I am not an atheist. I don't believe in God, but I'm not an atheist. So how can I say I don't believe in God, but I'm not an atheist? We'll deal with that tomorrow. So let's play this one more time, and then we're going to go ahead and close out. I want y'all to share this video, hit the like button. Let's get it to 100 likes here. Let's see. Let me play this video, and feel free to share this video. Just share it. Talk about it, especially the information on Sarnetta, his own words that he 4 or 5 years ago, or whatever. So let's go ahead and wrap up here, family. I'm going to show this, and then we'll close out. So with that being said, family, I appreciate you guys. Love you. Have a blessed night. Shalom.
So you go on to say that Sarnetta talked about your kids. Who are you talking about? Huh? You ain't talking about that, right? You ain't talking about that, her, right? You ain't talking about, no, bitch, that's right. I know you ain't talking about her. I knew her before you polite. You ain't talking about her, right? The one you call Renintet, you ain't calling her your daughter, are you? Don't do it. Don't make me do it again. Huh? Little Dr. York, don't make me do it again. Little Dr. York. You ain't talking about her, right? The one that you call Renintet. Huh? That ain't your daughter. Cut it out. Don't make me bring her sister right here in front of me. Her sister is my wife's cousin. You know that. Play yourself. You know that. Play yourself for themselves. Huh? She ran away from home to be with your ass.